All right, thank you everybody who's here for the very last session for the day. We welcome everybody who's here in person and if there's anybody joining us for the virtual. My name is Namita Monder and I'm the coordinator for this Northwest SELPA. We'll talk a little bit more about the organization as such, but if you're here today, the session is called Playing Today for a More Inclusive Tomorrow. And with me are the panelists who are part of this session. And I have Paul from Special Olympics. And then the panelists will shortly introduce themselves. So just let's give a minute for that. For the in-person people, I think you've been hearing this since morning, so you're good at this and you know where to go. Again, evacuation is downstairs. We take the stairs down here. You've heard about all the emergency devices that's available for you. Of course, if you need Wi-Fi, that's your code. The gender restrooms on the second floor, but we have one here if you access through the doors. And of course, that's our county vision. And for today, our objectives are to understand how Special Olympic programs promotes inclusive environment in our school districts, and to share some of the key elements of the Unified Champion School program, and to learn the impact and challenges that some of our Northwest SELPA member LEAs or the school districts have faced during their implementation of the Special Olympic programs, and to identify helpful resources and a toolkit that you can take and get started with it at your school site. So those are our nutshell, what we hope to achieve today. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to ask all my panelists to kind of do a quick introduction. And when they introduce themselves, please tell us your name, the role that you have in your current position, and how long have you been associated with Special Olympics. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's get started from the very right corner. Erin.
Hi all, I am Dr. Erin Siebert. I am a professor out at San Jose State University in the kinesiology department. I specialize in adaptive physical activity and physical education. And I have been with Special Olympics working in this space for about 2-3 years now, 3 years. And my role with this is our kinesiology students that have a focus on working with individuals with disabilities, whether that's kids or adults. We run the programs, they get education through their class, and then we come out to the school district and provide programming. Our peers are with their post-secondary counterparts, and we get to really sort of put theory to practice is what I get to do.
My name is Michelle Ray. I am a post-secondary teacher in Santa Clara Unified Schools, and I have also worked at the elementary level supporting students with moderate to severe disabilities. And my current role within post-secondary is to help oversee the Special Olympic programming that we have at our site. And we collaborate with San Jose State for what we call Spartan Fitness, with the students supporting our students and preparing them for Special Olympics. And then we also collaborate with 3 other school districts to put on Special Olympics events in conjunction with the Plex out in San Jose, which is our host site.
My name is Alpana Singh. I'm the program specialist for Cupertino Union School District. Will be my 2nd year. I'm the district coordinator for Special Olympics Unified Sports. And last year we had a couple of schools. That was a pilot year, and this year we're going big. So let's see.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Patricia Guevara. I am a program specialist with Santa Clara Unified School District, and I help support sites from our preschool through post-secondary. And this is my first year that I'm really becoming working with the team from my colleagues here from Santa Clara with the Special Olympics. So much like you, I've learned so much even in the short amount of time that I've been collaborating with my team. Thank you for being here.
I'm Angie Scott. I'm the assistant principal for post-secondary in Wilson High School. But I've been involved with Special Olympics for at least 8 years as the physical education curriculum specialist. So kind of the district coordinator from way back when, taking the lead from Michelle when they started at the school site to now supporting her and at the post-secondary, so different roles.
Hello, my name is Angel Sheridan. I'm the adapted physical education teacher for the Palo Alto Unified School District. I also run our Special Olympics programs that we take part with 2 other districts currently. I've been involved in Special Olympics for 20 years. First on the community program, I was a coach. I worked in the community program and I decided I wanted to work with the athletes. So I went back to school and got an adapted physical education degree. And now as a teacher, I have brought it into my school's program. And I've been doing it in the school's program for about 15 years.
Thank you. And Paul, of course. Did we miss you, Paul? No.
Hopefully not.
No, this is all of this is possible because we have such a wonderful coordinator and who's been supporting the programs for all our LEAs. So Paul, please.
Thank you. You're too kind. It's my pleasure to work with everyone that's here in some capacity, and my colleague Cameron, who's sitting in with us. We've had the pleasure to connect with these schools. I've been with the program now going into my 4th school year, which is amazing to see everything go from the middle of the pandemic to where we are now in 2024. And it's been a pleasure to see our programs grow through Santa Clara County with Special Olympics and the support we've had. And we're not done. So there's a lot more to do. And it's like I said, it's been a pleasure to work with you all and continue to grow.
Thank you, Paul. And you know, this is what it's about today, is hopefully we give you a glimpse of how some of our newer partners are making it work and creating the impact in their school sites, and how some of the veteran teachers are also playing a role and supporting the programs at their school sites. So before we plunge into their journeys and story, I want to share a quick video that'll ground us to what is the impact for Special Olympics.
Oh man, there's so much going on. Teams bowing out on the court, you got the cheering section.
To have hundreds of people cheering for them, they look forward to it and makes them feel proud of themselves. I began to actually realize that the kind of bonds that we make is truly amazing.
The difference is melt away.
Just does wonders for our kids.
Just makes it a better place to be. It's probably the best part of the school, I think.
I think every school should have it.
They're just smiling the whole time, just pure joy.
Things like say, when I do what I do, like.
Yeah, I did make friends. One is named Kenny and Lyndon, and I got Dominic, Dylan, and I got Nate. Nate. I would help them out. I'm a good helper to them. Makes me happy.
For my son Derek, it has been absolutely incredible. It's given him an opportunity to compete in sports that wouldn't be accessible to him otherwise, because he would never be strong enough to keep up with a general education peer.
So the 3 parts of a unified champion school are whole school engagement, inclusive youth leadership, and unified sports.
In getting our program started, I felt that our Special Olympics chapter was incredibly valuable. They provided the resources to go ahead and say, this is how you can do it.
I would say the first step is quite easy. It's just doing it, like making the commitment, and then from there branching out.
It's made our school more welcoming. It's made it kinder. There's just as much of a cheer, even louder cheer sometimes, if they are celebrating our unified athletes because they realize that they are a part of our school. It's part of the fabric of what makes freedom what it is.
It will be the best part of their day. It will be the best part of their year. And it was the best thing that we did.
I think all schools should consider a unified sports program just because of the opportunity it provides for the students.
It makes them feel like they can do anything else that any other kid can do, which is great. We love that.
When you get the whole school involved, it helps spread the message of inclusion and acceptance among the entire student body, and that is a beautiful thing to see.
This kid goes up for a shot and he goes in, and the whole crowd like freaked out, and we had all the kids from the stands coming out. It's like, those are the moments I think it's all about.
It's kind of a big gift. I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan.
My son's autistic, and that's what I want for him. That's what I want for all my students, is just that they're accepted and treated like anybody else.
All right, yes, we could see it again, but let's carry on.
All right, so that's just a little snippet of what we do. You can see, even just from a small short video like that, the emotions and the joy and the passion that are a part of what we do in our school's programming. So just a little bit of background knowledge for you. For those of you that are not that familiar, or for those of you that are, this is a refresher. The school's partnership program is what we call it when a school district partners with us at Special Olympics. And it includes our flagship component, obviously Unified Champion Schools programming. It's a unique education program for the entire livelihood of the school system, from pre-K all the way through our students in transition programs, your 18 to 22-year-old students. The program unifies students. That's what it's all about, bringing together students with and without intellectual disabilities through the three components of unified sports, inclusive youth leadership, and whole school engagement. All these activities together, they will educate students with the skills necessary to sustainably develop school communities that promote inclusion, acceptance, and most importantly, respect for all students. So when we look at it, especially with our group here, Special Olympics and Unified Champion Schools, you'll see it a lot abbreviated as UCS. It's programming that aims to reduce bullying and aggression, promoting healthy activities, eliminating stereotypes, therefore helping the schools create climates of inclusion, acceptance, and respect. The end result of this is that all students feel safer and more connected to their schools. Everyone that is here today representing us on this panel, their districts have all been a part of our Unified Champion Schools. We'll get to a little more on that down the road, but that is when a school achieves that status by hitting all three components of our programming. If you look at the numbers in the purple box, that was from last school year 23-24 in the Northwest SELPA area. We have 10 districts that have been a part of our school partnership program, 41 schools that were a part of it, and of those 41, 24 of the schools achieved Unified Champion School status, leading us to, as far as students impacted, just under 1,000 unified athletes, just over 1,000 unified partners, and a whopping 11,595 total students impacted. And like I said, this number continues to grow, and that's the whole point of this, that hopefully it will continue to grow even more so. All right, so a little breakdown here, as I said, the three components. Unified play, exactly what it sounds like. It's sports for students with and without intellectual disabilities, and by doing that, it's fostering inclusion and acceptance, and also all the values that come from being part of a sports team. That leads to the second component, which is inclusive youth leadership. You see this from the elementary level all the way on up, but you really start to notice it in the middle school and high school as the students get older and really make the program their own. It's inclusive, so once again, students with and without intellectual disabilities working together on youth leadership projects within the school community and out into their neighborhood communities. And then last but not least, whole school engagement. It's bringing the whole school together, giving a Special Olympics or a unified club the same recognition that any other club or sport has on campus. And it's bringing the whole campus around and involved in it so that it's not just a small group of kids that are practicing inclusion and acceptance, but it's the entire campus that is there supporting and learning and including along the way. When a school achieves at least one event of all three of those components throughout the school year, they become a unified champion school. And that's what we strive for all of the schools that are a part of programs with us, to be able to hit that mark and continue to grow and have sustainable growth along the years.
Thanks, Paul, for sharing that impact. And it is so powerful just from what you saw even in the video. And it really speaks volume to what we've been hearing in this conference throughout, right? All our keynote speakers, they talked about that change in mindset and how we can bring that. So this is such a good way of bringing the whole community together and changing that mindset. And with that, let me ask one of our newest members, that's the Cupertino Unified School District representative, Alpana, program specialist, who's here, to share how this has impacted in her school district. So Alpana, if you can talk a little bit about your journey.
So my journey started when I met Paul, maybe 4 years ago. Yes, around 3 years ago, and we met, and somebody said she would be there with me and we would do it together. Then she left and I was by myself. Then I said, oh, I still want to do it. So I met with Paul. Paul guided me through everything, and we had our first Special Olympics event last year. So I had 5 schools, and we have Montessori students and Mont students. We decided to split them up because the sites are different. And so we had 2 events, and we did skills and drills. So 5 different skills and drills. Yes, there was planning involved. Yes, there was some work and I had to spend extra time, but by the end of it, it was one of the most beautiful experience that we all had. We saw staff, students, community, parents, the board member, the district come together, and they just were in awe of how all the students were bonding with each other. There were friendships that blossomed, they were motivating each other. Winning was not the key, but taking part was. And even many of our students with special needs, their parents kept on saying, we saw interest in sports in many of the special needs students. They wanted to play the sports, but they were very hesitant to do that. And our staff did wonderful because we had site coordinators at each of the school site, and one special ed and one general ed teacher signed up to be the 2 site coordinators. So from there only the inclusiveness started. And then it was one of when we had the events, the pure joy that Paul talks about, to see in front of the faces of the students, it was the most beautiful. I still get tears in my eyes when I see those from TK all the way to 8th grade. It was much. So this year, I didn't even have to sell it to other schools in my district. I got calls from other people that say, can we not do it too? I said, yeah, of course. So this year we have around 10 schools taking part. And so and then we have 2 middle schools who have been hesitant, they're not doing it too. So go Cupertino.
Yes, that's thank you, Alpana. And here you can see, what she talked about. I just put it down here, but really a community that came together right from the top to the entire school community. So that was it, right from the board members to parents, everybody was part of it. Thank you, and I'm going to give it to Paul. Sorry.
Perfect, thank you very much. This just here is just a little bit of some stats and numbers. If you need that too, the numbers do back it. We have research each year with some of our colleagues at UMass that goes out to all of our coordinators that are involved in our Special Olympics programming here for Special Olympics NorCal. And at the end of this survey, they put together the facts and figures. And you can see here the fact that Special Olympics unified programming benefits everyone. It's not just something that is supportive and a good thing for children and students with special needs. It is equally as impactful for students in the general ed population. And that's the whole point of the unified aspect. Graduation rates, I'll just go through a couple of them. Graduation rates increased for both students with disabilities and without disabilities when Unified Champion Schools was a part of the school program. Higher standardized test scores in both reading and math for both populations. Attendance was higher, reading scores were higher. For elementary and middle school students that were involved in Unified Champion School programming, their standardized tests increased as well. And it also had an impact on the social emotional side of things, that students learned more about their peers, having exposure to different groups of varied abilities. It led to more understanding. It led to inclusion inside the classroom, in the cafeteria, out on the playing fields, in their communities. And the last of it here is just it left with a positive aspect and positive values for different groups of students, even beyond intellectual disabilities and general ed. Everything from immigrant refugee students, ESL students, LGBTQ plus students, new transfer students, you name it, the list goes on. The positive aspects and the benefits of being part of this Unified Champion Schools inclusive programming are seen from top to bottom. And when a child has the opportunity to do this from the TKs, the elementaries on, and take it with them through their school system, they then become the adults that are out here with us every day. And it's a good thing to have that kind of footprint and that emotional background and learning with them as they accelerate through life.
Absolutely. And with that, let's, Paul, if you can pass it to, for Palo Alto to Angel. So now let's hear from Angel, who talked about, her long-term relationship with the program and then helping Palo Alto at different levels. So Angel, if you can highlight some of the even the barriers that you might have seen because of doing it for such a long time. So go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So you look at these pictures and it's like crowds of people. That's like where you want to get to. You don't have to start there. When I started many years ago, I think I convinced like 5 teachers to like do a little soccer thing with me. And then from there, people see it and they say, wow, that's kind of cool. Can I come? Can I come? And it starts to grow to the point where people are like, we had a soccer tournament last week and I think we had over 200 students, general education students, special education students. We had busloads of general education students coming to support their peers as, so it just can grow from itself. So don't look at the picture of, oh my God, this is a huge event. How do we pull this off? You can start this really small and build from there. There are challenges, but they're all able to be overcome. There's like practical challenges, like how do you get all the students there? That's when we used to come up with the buses, but there's ways around it. There's ways to work with your district, work with your admin. You just need the buy-in from somebody at the school, a principal, a district office person. They can really help you out and get the inroads on those little things you need. And there's so many people that want to help on a project like this. We pair with our parent community. They come out and support us. We have our ASB group. We have our leadership group. We have our AVID group. They all come out. We have our PE teachers come out and help. So there's so many people that want to be part of this program that it's important to include them and use them because it'll make the program even better. And it'll just take off and grow on its own. But seeing over the years, this has been such an impactful program in our school district. Last year, we incorporated our post-secondary students and we had them run our Young Athletes Day. They came and ran the stations. They did the opening ceremonies. They helped train the students. So you can take it and like these kids that I started with in elementary school were my little guys that started the program are now teaching the little guys how to do the program. So there's ways to include the whole community. You could just see how it impacts them all.
Thank you so much, Angel. Yeah, it takes a while to get off the ground, but once it blooms, it really takes off. So thank you for sharing that. And next, we will hear from Santa Clara Unified School District, from where we have three panelists. So I let you all decide who goes first and share a little bit about your journey. So I think the mic is right next to Angie. So go ahead.
I think what Angel said in regards to start small. It's a different approach a little bit from Cupertino, but if you get a buy-in from a teacher to try something small, do it with a partner class. Then see if anybody else wants 5 minutes to be fans in the stands. It could be part of a physical education class. It could be part of a activity day at the end of the year. Start small and let it grow as it goes from there. But make a big deal about it too, and celebrate it after the fact. I'll stop there.
You know, I want to say, because this is the first year that I'm kind of jumping in and learning how, by the way, very interesting ways that districts have started. And there is really no reason why you wouldn't want to do this. There's no reason why your site admin or any lead would not want to be a part of this. When, yes, it takes work and there's some effort. Most things do that are really worth doing. And when I have gone out to be to just witness the students gather together, our general ed kids with our kids with disabilities, and the way they interact with each other, it's amazing. It truly is an amazing thing to see. And it really does foster those relationships, and it really fosters that, students to have even that empathy, right? And so my takeaway from just the short time that I've been a part of this is just that I can't see any reason why you wouldn't want to do it. There's some great information already that's been shared you can present if you are interested in wanting to be a part of the Special Olympics.
Yeah, Michelle, did you want to add something to what they have said already?
Yeah, I think, having worked at the elementary level when we were just bringing it into our schools about 10 years ago, I think, it just started with our special education classes that were moderate to severe. So we only had 3 classes participate. We did open it up to others to help. But it's picking one person that you're willing to work with and that's willing to work with you and getting their buy-in, like everybody has said. It's expanding it to the leadership teams of the school at the elementary level. It expands it, have the music teacher participate and help lead the national anthem. There's a lot of ways to get participation. And then if you parallel that to the high school side, all high schools have clubs. I'm sure you guys have heard of Best Buddies, maybe Circle of Friends. These are the groups that would help facilitate activities at the high school level if there's not a relationship between teachers or unified PE classroom. So there's a lot of ways to integrate it. And then going one step further at the post-secondary level, collaborating with a local college or, somebody within a program within a college to be able to build those relationships to foster bigger events that grow over time. But I think like anybody can attest to, it starts with just one person.
Yes.
And it's building that one person and building a relationship with one more person. And then another person comes along and then it kind of grows and it spreads across school sites and then ultimately across districts, right? Where we can collaborate with other districts as well.
Yeah, no, that's the right segue. Thank you. Yes, we are talking about, how it starts with one person at one school site, and maybe it's an elementary school or a middle school. And then we heard from all our school districts about how their journey took off from just a little bit or maybe a whole school engagement. Where it was like for Cupertino, and then it's continues to move on from there. So now let's hear from Erin about how it is at the other end of the spectrum, right? Like I think Michelle alluded to it, how there is a partnership with San Jose State. So Erin, if you can share some of the impact that you're seeing in that community with the older students, what changes are you seeing there?
Yeah, so just like the rest of the panel, it started small, it started simple. My students, my college students, are future OTs, future APE teachers, future physical education teachers. Some of them think they'll go physical therapy, they might, well, we'll see. But they're all interested in working in these fields. And we have been doing this a couple years now, and we have a couple graduates who have gone on, and I now have students who are teaching and are in their school, and they're like, could I do that Special Olympics thing? And to be fair, this relationship started from, hey, we need a school site for our students to do their off-campus lab. What do you think about working together? To having a conversation of, should we do a culminating event at the end of the 10 weeks? What do you want to do? What do you think? Should we do basketball? Can we do something? Hey, what if we do Special Olympics thing? Okay, sure. Like, what do you want to do with that? How does that look? And now it's this, hey, someone knows this community partner, we can use this bigger space, we can have multiple school districts come, it's students from my class, it's volunteers from within the department where I teach, and it's so much more involved and so much bigger. And then my students have a successful experience getting to understand, I as a professor can be very boring and give you lots of examples about what an adult with a disability might behave like, how that might go down, how you might have to solve this problem. Or I can give you this real world experience where you're, again, putting that theory into practice, applying those knowledges, figuring it out, and then also making these partner connections and being able to transition and go on with your career and say, hey, do you think, I know I'm at elementary school right now, but do you think I could do a Special Olympics thing? Being like, yeah, why not? Why couldn't you do that? That would be great, right? And getting them to understand, no matter how small you start, as a one-off, one-day thing at the end of 10 weeks, it always grows. And I think that's in part to having great partners in the school district. I also think that's due a lot in part to our partnership with Special Olympics and the connections that they have and the support that they can bring and how we've been able to cultivate and grow this within this community.
Could you talk to us a little bit about the different programs that you've held? Yes.
Yeah, happy to do that. So as I mentioned, this started as the end of a 10-week lab of we should do something fun together, to having a community partner who runs the Plex, who sort of said, hey, my mom was a special education teacher. Is there anything I can do to get involved with this? To opening it up to us. So now we host 3 Special Olympic events for 4 different school districts in the area, all focused on the post-secondary population. In the fall, we do soccer, in the winter basketball, in the spring track and field. But what we bring to it, because we have so many different participants, is we get to do a competitive field, a recreation field, and then skills and drills. And so we really get to sort of differentiate based on ability and interest level, as well as my students get to hop right in and be competitive with the students on the competitive field, and that is no joke competitive. Legitimately, we're at refs and all, as well as working on those skills for folks that maybe didn't initially think they wanted to play soccer that day, or I don't think I'll be able to shoot a basketball. We'll get there and we'll work on it, and we're gonna have fun along the way. We also have an on-campus program that you see up there that's partnered with a different class. And this was completely the brainchild of sort of Special Olympics. They came to us and said, hey, would you consider this? And so we do a strength and conditioning program for adults with disabilities that come to campus to, again, work with our students who have a circuit set up for them to work through different fitness activities. And this has been just amazing, just fantastic. We've had students from the Santa Clara post-secondary program who have maybe aged out of the post-secondary program who are now coming to campus to do this. We're also working with our rec center as best we can to maybe see if there's some opportunities to open that up for community memberships, to just continue. Again, it grows faster than you ever think it will in ways that you can't imagine. But planting that seed of this is possible, and this is what this looks like, and this is how this is mutually beneficial for everyone involved. Yeah. well, Sammy Fit isn't a Special Olympics program, but we have two other programs. They're not Special Olympics, but they are designed for folks with disabilities. And they're great and we love them.
Thank you, Erin, yes. I think this is, it just completes the whole picture of how when you plant the seeds much younger and earlier, and then you can have it spread throughout the community and with age. So, I really appreciate everybody. We are open to taking any questions if you have for any one of our panelists at any time. And we definitely want to share some more resources with you. So Paul, before we go to that, do you have any other additional journey of new partners who have either joined with the San Jose State? And I definitely know that, this year for Northwest Salpa, I participated in the Young Athlete Fair, and that was a new one that was brought to this area. And something, again, we talked about that we're going to make sure that all our LEA members in Northwest Alba know about it. It was a summer event and we had a very nice turnout, even in spite of it being very hot. It's for 2 to 10 years of age. And, their grandparents were there, their siblings were there, people from the community. And it was my first time attending because it was at Santa Clara University. So it is a local event and we definitely want to get the word out much earlier this year so we can have a better turnout. But are there more school districts that are joining hands and where are they, if you can share a little?
Sure. So
Yeah.
how much time do we have here?
We're good.
Yes, so a couple things there. Thank you so much. Connected to that, our summer games happens every summer. It'll be at the end of June. Knock on wood, been at Santa Clara University now for 3 years. This will be our 4th coming up for summer of 2025. And it's an opportunity to bring our Special Olympics schools related programming to the community. Part of that big jamboree that we have for that 3-day weekend at the end of June for athletes of all ages, but there is a special segment for the young athletes too, that there will be a community young athletes day for the little kids that all of us in the schools department run that event in the summertime. And then throughout that, one more plug just for something that my colleague Cameron and I have coming up, and we can provide information to anyone that's interested afterwards. But we do also community young athletes events throughout all of Northern California outside of the school year, regionally. And so I can pass the information with you all later, but November 16th, it's a Saturday, we will be doing a young athletes event, specifically in the South Bay in Sunnyvale. And that is open right now. If you have little ones with or without intellectual disabilities, we're doing ages 5 to 9 that could participate. Then back to the school side of things, these programs grow little by little through the support of people like yourselves. We call them champions of inclusion because that's what you all are. And it just takes that 1 or 2 people that say, this sounds like a good idea. I would like to do this. Let's go and take that first step. Hopefully there's support then, and among other levels in the district or the school, and then it grows organically over the years. But word of mouth also travels from events like this, from speaking at, SELPA or district meetings, and people say, what was that again about that guy that spoke about Special Olympics? I'd like to learn more. And we've had the pleasure of working, Namita and I, for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now, of connecting and colleagues and this and that. And 2 of our programs that we've had, Cupertino was directly from that combination and being able to connect that way. Fremont Union, we got connected to their high school district last year through, I don't even know who it was, but there was a conversation, and we incorporated, we did a track and field event with them last year. All the high schools in that district, we incorporated them into our post-secondary soccer event that we just did a week or 2 ago at the Plex. We've also had other combinations of Campbell Union and more with San Jose Unified, and people that just say, oh, I heard something. I just got an email literally while I was here today, and my boss passed it along to me and said, oh, we have somebody that's interested in learning a little more about it. I think it was maybe Bill Pettis or something. But long story short, word of mouth that I heard something, I saw something, somebody connected me to Special Olympics. Could you tell us more about it? And it just takes that one little seed, one spark, and then it grows. And the end goal is to have these programs be sustainable. And we've had actually the pleasure of people going from one district to another district. And now they're saying, we did this here and it was great. I want to do it here. And that's a bonus. So sure, you lose them in one district, but you gain them in another and the programs stay. So it is all about the community and bringing it together and being able to provide the opportunity for as many students as we can in as many areas and districts as we're able to do. But it's without all of you, this can't be done.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about. So Northwest SELPA includes 21 school districts along with the Santa Clara County of Education. So we are spread out with some of our larger districts are the San Jose Unified, Santa Clara Unified, Palo Alto, and we have very small size school districts like Loma Prieta and Luther Burbank. So it ranges really our student population and the needs of the schools are very different. However, I think the goal is the same, is to create an inclusive environment. And that is the reason that that Leo, our executive director, Leo Mapagu, who really encourages this collaboration with organization like Special Olympics. We've had the opportunity of having them present at our directors meeting. So all our special ed directors are familiar with the program. We've also had the opportunity of sharing this information with our parent community, and we plan to do so more of that this school year. So this school year is unique for us as we all come together under one umbrella of Northwest SELPA, and we used to be in different clusters, and now we're together. So all the 21 school districts are together. We hope to create and support them in creating more and more inclusive environments. And one of the ways that we can really do that is through a program like Special Olympics, which is research-bound, evidence-based, and really gets the whole community engaged. So here are some resources for you that you can take a look at. I think Paul just put a few flyers even on the table, and we'll tell you what that is. So this is if you click on this, it will take us to the Special Olympics website. And I just wanted to, and we also have this, okay. All right, here it is. I really wanted to share with you a couple of things. This looks like the fall games are coming up, so they have those ads coming. Oh, it's not showing. Oh, how does that work? Okay. Well, the website is on there, but I'm not sure why it's not showing. Maybe it doesn't show the link here. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's what it was, right? Oh, just did block. Okay, just a minute. So, well, the resources are there. It's there. Okay, perfect. It just maybe takes a minute to get started. So this is all about the programs, right? And if we go to school programs, this is the school partnership program that you saw earlier. And I really wanted to bring it down to, this is what Paul shared earlier about the Unified Champion School. So it really takes you, all the resources are here. So if you are making a presentation to your special ed director, or if you're talking with your, board members, and you want to pick up some of the information on research, this is the website to go to. You have a lot of information here. The other thing I really wanted to talk about is the Young Athletes Program, because this program, the younger we start, especially our families, they are really asking, every time I go out in a resource fair, they're looking to see how the children can be part of the whole school. And what an easy way to get started, right? And really, one of the nice things I even found on the website, and Paul, I know that we have more slides on that, but if you go through the resources, I really liked they really break it down to even showing you how you can join the newsletter and get more updated information. But they have these books you can read, activities you can do at home. So I thought those were just such good information to share with parents and those who are just starting up, or they're feeling so down that how do they connect with their children with disability, and here's your resources in helping the parents, showing them through the champions, hopefully if they're in your school. But if you're a small school and lack the resources and ability, really this is a wonderful website where you can find a lot of information. I think let's go back. Is there anything else, Paul, here?
No, I mean, you covered all of it. And if you have a few minutes or even hours of free time, there is a wealth of information to check out on our Special Olympics page, not only the schools page particularly, but for athletes that are in the community, 6 years old and up. You can have children and adults that are doing community sports at the same time as they're doing school sports. They can do it when they age out of the schools program, also completely free of charge. 11 sports offered throughout the course of the year by county, about 3-4 sports a season. And there are opportunities galore that students and adults can be involved in sports programming, inclusive sports programming. Health and wellness became huge and something that we realized was needed, so much so during the pandemic, and still that it's the whole holistic health and wellness and the full lifestyle of athletes. So it's all there. And then if you ever do have any questions, please feel free to take a pamphlet on the way out. My business card as well. It's got our school's information. And not only here for Santa Clara County, where myself and Cameron are the two that work our schools program in this area, but all of NorCal. So if you have somebody that's outside of this area, please have them reach out to us as well, and we can connect them to our counterpoints there. You look at some of these slides here, these are just some of the basics, kind of how you get started. And the one on the left is the one on the right is our basics of becoming a unified champion school, and the 3 components: unified sports, inclusive youth leadership, and whole school engagement. And we have some examples. This is not the be all and end all list, but they give you an idea of what that might look like. Unified sports, like we said, playing a sport with both students with and without intellectual disabilities. It can be unified PE. It can be a young athlete's day for the little kids in the TKs and the elementaries. Examples of inclusive youth leadership, as a lot of us have mentioned: buddy clubs, circle of friends, lunchtime group, student council, unified student council. Any existing club can easily be turned into an inclusive club, a unified club. Just allowing all students to participate in it. So it can be something brand new, it can be something that already exists, and you decide to start making it unified. Whole school engagement, you'll most commonly see fans in the stands, and that's a little bit of what Aaron was saying, and Alpana was saying, and Angel was saying, that it's bringing students that may not be participating in the unified sports event themselves, but it's happening at lunchtime. There are other classes that are free. They come and support and cheer, and I can't tell you how many pictures and videos I've seen of cute little kids with handmade signs supporting their classmates with positive messages, and it never gets old, and it just brings it to the whole community. Like I said, that's not the be all and end all list. The neat thing about Special Olympics and our programming is its adaptability and bringing it to where the school is, where the district is, where the program is. We've had our regular traditional sports of soccer, basketball, and track and field. We've also had schools do cornhole, bocce, kickball, you name it. There's so many different ways that you can bring inclusivity and unified sports to your school. And we are always down for an idea, and will rarely say no if you have an opportunity of what you'd like to do and make this happen at your school. And then we go to the slide over here. This one is just kind of a little bit of a breakdown of our young athletes. And as Namita was saying, ways to do it at home. Obviously, that became a huge thing during the pandemic when we couldn't go anywhere but home, but it's still neat to be able to have that opportunity to take it outside of the classroom, take it back home, practice it in the summer, et cetera, and easy ways that you can do some training and some practice for everything from soccer to basketball to you name it, any different unified Olympic sports stations, all at the palm of your hand and from home. And it's just a way to be able to have movement, to have sports, to have confidence building, and bring students together to play. Those are two of the resources that are available on their website. And like I said, there's plenty more. So this pamphlet here that you have, just is a little bit of a smattering of kind of everything that we've thrown at you this afternoon, from numbers to stats to a little bit about what we do, QR codes to some of the videos that you see and one more that you're going to see, and then information of how you can contact us for more information. And that's the best thing. If you ever do have questions, you're welcome to reach out to us and we will get you in touch with either ourselves or the various area managers throughout the state, and answer your questions and get things started at your school if there's an interest. We're always willing to talk for 5 to 10 minutes, maybe longer, and share what we do and see how we can bring this to your programs as well.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And I think I just wanted to make sure, I think maybe it went through some of the slides, like I've also put Alpena's Cupertino's timeline in there. So if you think you have a school district that's, Cupertino is K-8, and if you're ready to take that TK-8 now, so if you're ready to take that plunge for the whole school district, you know, she's a good resource to talk to who will share her timeline. So we have given that sample timeline for Cupertino right here, that was planned by Alpena. And then we have our contact information. Paul's is here, and you can always reach him through email or through the website. And of course, mine is also here, and you can reach me if you want to know what we're doing at Northwest SELPA and how we're trying to get more and more school districts to participate in this program. So let's end with this one, another video, and you know, you will see some familiar faces today from our panel in here. It's a quick short video.
We're here to see our son in the Special Olympics.
Been profoundly touched by how welcoming the school is come a long way from when I was a kid.
I would define a unified champion school as combining our gen ed population with our students with special needs. So it's not just sports after school or a tournament during the school day.
The second tier of unified champion schools is inclusive youth leadership. So your buddy clubs, your lunch bunch, your student leadership group, student government, all done to bring all people and all children of various abilities together.
It's the biggest way that we have our special education students integrated into the population of students on campus.
We have programs called Peer Over, where we actually get to work in classrooms with the special needs students. And it's overall just a really great experience, and I think every school should have it.
The kind of bonds that we make in this club is truly amazing. And getting to know the special ed as well as the partners that we get partnered with, it's amazing.
It's more effective than teachers because they're their peers. And so our kids have a really special bond with those students. And it's probably the best part of the school.
It has been, you started off with them giving support, you know, being a supportive role to becoming collaborators, helping their buddies, and now they're being friends. And kids do not, you know, feel the difference. So they keep each other as equals, and that's the wonderful thing to see. Yeah.
Kids can walk down the hall and say, hey, how you doing? I know you.
The bonds that are created between, our peers is, we do see that on campus. We see them interacting at lunch, and it's just a great way to bring some kids together who kind of sometimes get hidden on campus.
The other piece of it is,
leadership opportunities. So for us, at Antelope specifically, like we have what's called the Best Buddies program, so we have that program as well. We also have a unified sports club, so a lot of leadership opportunities for our general education and special education students.
What we are seeing more often now is that the students themselves are helping to support the system and the programs and building it without us having to explain what unified looks like.
What we have found since we've been doing this for over 10 years is that partnerships that are created transcend high school years, and they still are friends long after.
There's a place for every student here, and you just feel that energy, and it's just uplifting. There's no way you can walk onto this and not feel the excitement and the energy and proud of the students.
To see the students create bonds with one another, building friendships, getting to know one another, supporting each other, respecting one another. It's everything that's good and right in education. I mean, it just brings that warmth to your heart.
Everyone gets to know everyone a little better, and then when you go out in the world, you know it's okay to say hi to whoever, and it's just a great way to be involved in your community. And the community is all of us, and so it's important that we're all involved.
All right, thank you. And with that, we bring a close to our presentation. And if you have any questions for any of the panelists, or you have any other comments, we're happy to take. And we wish you all the best. A lot of resources on the table. Feel free to pick up anything if you need to, or contact any one of us later. Thanks for your time.
I guess I'll ask a question just for the panel in general. If there is something that you could go back and do when you first started differently, is there anything that you would do different when you were first getting started?
I would say asking for help and not being afraid to ask for help and asking for the supports and resources that you need to put your students first, because our students are often overlooked. So having them put first and looking at things through their lens is really important.
I would say the same thing, not being afraid to ask for things, ask for money, ask for resources, go high up on the ladder, ask your superintendent, ask your assistant superintendent, just being more bold about it, to ask instead of requesting for it. And I think that would be something I would do it again. So this year I've been doing that. I asked for it because I want it. I'm not making a request anymore.
All right, be bold and ask for your students. Put the students first, for sure. Anyone else?
I would just say start small. It doesn't have to be a big culminating event. It could be just a class period so that you can understand where you want to go with it, but start small and then it just naturally grows.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.